Who's ready for spooky season? Who's ready to make a spooky Spiderweb Granny Square? Just like this one. Spiderwebs, ghosts, jack-o'-lanterns, pumpkins, scary witches, Frankenstein's monster. What do all these have in common? It's Halloween season. So today we're going to dive into a granny square with a spider web and a spider. So if this is what you're into, please consider hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and dinging that notification bell so you will be notified when my next videos come out. Also, please consider hitting that like button if you have seen any of my videos and you do enjoy the content that I put here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this spooky Spiderweb Granny Square. It's time to get in the season, the spooky season, with our very own Spiderweb Granny Square. Okay, things we need today are style. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK, but you can use any DK weight yarn, or if you would like the square to be larger, you could use a worsted weight, or even bigger, so you could use a bulky weight. You know, as you know, you can make things larger or smaller by your size of yarn. And I'm always using the recommended hook size that comes on the skein of yarn. So with the Stylecraft Special, we have, it calls for a 4mm crochet hook. So the colors that we're using are, the purple color is Proper Purple. We are using a bright orange, which is Yafa. We are using black. And we are using grass green. Okay. So if you're wondering what this is on my caked skein of yarn, this is just a simple nylon thread saver. That's what it's for. You know, it's for like spools of sewing thread. But I absolutely love it for this because it keeps everything contained. It doesn't get loose. And as you use your yarn from the center, it condenses down and shrinks it down so that it just stays contained. It doesn't get loose and flop everywhere. But it comes just like this in two of these. There's two of them. As you see, I've already gone through one. But there are 40 yards of this nylon webbing tube. And you just cut it to size. I usually cut for my Stylecraft yarns, which are 100 grams, equivalent to, it doesn't say, I'm so sorry. I usually cut maybe about 10 inches or so, not quite a foot, and that wraps over it quite nicely. So I will link that down below. I do have an Amazon link for that. Pardon the noise there. We will be using, like I said, the 4mm hook. I'm just using my trusty, affordable, ergonomic hooks that come in a set of 3 that I picked up on Amazon. Those will also be linked down below. We will need some tapestry yarn needles. This is what I've been using this whole time. Is a set. As you see, it's running low because I've done a few different projects. So I have some needles in with some other projects I'm working on. But it comes with a set of 18, and some of them are curved edge with a larger eye, which I love that curved edge. And some of them are straight with a smaller eye. And it's a little bit thinner of a hook, of a needle. So when you're using even smaller yarns, it goes through easier without being so bulky and messy. And then we just need a pair of scissors. Any kind will do. I just love these because they came in a kit and they just stay with all my stuff. Easy to use. So this pattern is more of an advanced beginner intermediate because we are going to be working with extended stitches. Now, if you're not sure what those are, I did actually just do a video in my beginner crochet playlist about extended stitches and how to do them. So by all means, you're more than welcome to check that one out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this. So we're going to start with our black because we start in the center, our granny square. And you can do a magic ring, or I'm doing the chain slip stitch ring method here. Zoom in just a little, just because I like the security it makes. With my DK yarns, I'm only doing a chain 3 instead of a chain 4, because I don't like that big hole in the middle. Okay, so that's just I wonder if I pull this aside, if this will be easier to see with the black yarn. Okay, I think so. Okay, so we're chaining 3, and then we're doing a slip stitch into the first chain, and that gives us our starting ring. Okay, just like that. Now we're chaining 3. I like to move this over where the knot is. It just kind of gives it more security and stabilizes it in there, secures it better. Okay, so chaining 3. This counts as an extended double crochet. And now we're going to do 15 of those. So for a total stitch count of 16. So our extended single crochet is just like a single crochet. Extended double crochet. It's just like a regular double crochet, except for we're adding a chain here at the beginning. It makes it a little bit taller and a little bit wider. So just like that. And then we finish off like a regular double crochet. So that's counting as 2 because we're counting that the chain as 1. So here's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. Whoops. 14. 15 and 16. So we are going to slip stitch to the first, to the top of our chain. Now it is going to curl a little bit, okay? So don't fret about that. It will work out as we go through, okay? So next we are going to chain 2. So after we put chain 2, we are going to work an extended half double in the same space as our chain. So that gives us 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and here is 16. Then we are slip stitching to the top of our chain. And I know it's curly, which is kind of weird. Trust me, it will work itself out as we put the green color on. It's going to stretch it and it'll hold it stable. So let me go ahead and tie this off. Just going to do an invisible join. Okay, so I'm going to weave these guys in, and then I'll be right back, and we will start with the green color. Okay, so our grass green, we are going to be starting with a standing double crochet, and we are putting this in the spaces between our extended double crochets below, not in the top loops, but in between. Okay, so for our standing double crochet, we are just, I have a slip knot to get it started easy. Just wrap it once, go in, yarn over, and then work it just like a regular double crochet. Yarn over and yarn over, just like that. Okay, and then we need another regular double crochet. We are going to be going between double crochet and extended, regular stitches and extended stitches in this pattern, and that is why I'm saying it's more of an intermediate type pattern. Okay, now we are chaining one and doing 2 double crochets in the next space. Now we're not chaining, we're just coming over and doing 2 double crochets here. Okay, and then next we are chaining. So we're doing 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and then 4, 2 and 2, and then a chain 1. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so now we have 2 here in the next. No chain, repeats, and now chain. Okay, and chain. Okay, and then our last one is 2 double crochets and no chain, because we are going to be slip stitching to the top of our first standing double crochet. Now I know, like I said, it's gonna bumpy. It is going to pull itself out, I promise you. Okay. So next so this should be 32 double crochets and 8 chain spaces. So we are going to be slip stitching over to our chain space. Okay. Now we are chaining 3. This counts as a double crochet. And then we're double crocheting 2 and more in the same space. So this is kind of like a granny stitch. And then chain 1 and double crochet 3. So this 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're skipping these guys and we're going straight over to our next chain space. Okay. So we're pretty much doing the same thing here in each of the chain spaces. So double crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Coming over here to our next chain space. 1, 2, 3. So we do this for a total of 8 times because we have 8 chain 1 spaces. So it's kind of making 8 points around. As you can see. So it kind of makes a flower, I guess you could say, like a flower shape as we go around. Okay, here's our last point of our 8 points. And then we are going to slip stitch over to the first chain space, chain 3 that started. Just, there we go. Just like that. So as you see, got a little bit of a flower shape going there. All right, so then next this is our last round of the green. We are going to slip stitch over to our chain 1 space here, okay? And we are going to start with some treble crochets. Okay, so we're chaining 4. And we're doing 2 treble crochets. And then a chain 1. And then 3 more treble crochets in our same space. This is making another point. Okay, so we are working directly now into the space here between our points from the row below, and we're just going to do an extended single crochet. And we are going to skip this one. So we need to chain 6 and work an extended single crochet here. Okay. And then now we are going to repeat. So 3 treble crochets. Chain 1, 3 treble crochets. There we are. There's our second point. It's going to kind of look like a compass rose as we go around. And then extended single crochet here in this space. Chaining 6 to skip this. Extended single crochet here. And then repeat our 3 treble crochets, chain 1, 3 treble crochets. So I'm going to finish this going around and I will be right back with you here at the end. Okay, here is our last extended single crochet, and then I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 4. And as you see, it kind of squares it off, makes it a diamond shape, however you want to look at it. But there is that, and we are going to fasten this off. I'm going to weave in these ends, and we're going to start with orange. So I'll be right with you when I get that all sewn in. Okay, so I have everything weaved in, and as you can see, the center works itself out. It's not bulging anymore. It's nice and settled in there. And that actually is going to give it a nice little space for our spider to rest later. Okay, so our orange, we're just doing 1 round of the orange, and that gives us this cute little corners that we have here. So we need to do a standing double crochet. In this space here. So on our flat side, so we have our points, it's going in this one right here, okay? And it's going to go over our chain. There we go. There's our first one. And then we are doing 2 more. And then a chain 1, and then 3. Okay, next we are going to loosely, because we are coming straight over to this side, we are loosely going to chain 10 because it is going to get worked into, as you can see on the back of this one. It's I haven't woven in my ends, but you're going to see it's going to go behind the points as we build onto this. So it's just going to go back here behind this, and we're going to work over it with the um, purple color next. Okay, so loosely, I say loosely because, I mean, I guess find your happy place with it, because you don't want it super tight where it pulls it together, but then you don't want it super loose where it's going to be baggy back there. So I say loosely, just kind of, if you're a tight crocheter, just loosen up just a little bit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're just repeating the granny stitch over here, corner, in each of these guys over our chain 6s that we did last round. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3. You're going to lift back there. All right, and then just repeat that for 2 more times, and then you'll do at the end your chain 10, and you're going to slip stitch it right over here. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will be right back with you. Okay, here we are after our last chain 10, and just going to slip stitch here, and then I will fasten that off with an invisible join. And it probably seems weird that I'm putting my needle in and then threading it. I just find that if I do it the other way, sometimes the yarn comes out while I'm trying to uh, thread that in there, and then it's bothersome for me. So I just like to do it that way. Okay, so let me weave these in, and I will be right back with you. Here's the back side thus far. And we're going to start the next round, which is the orange. I mean, not the orange, is the purple. I absolutely love the way these colors are coming out and the shape and how it's working. You could do this for any kind of square that you wanted, just different colors. I mean, you could theme it however you like. I think it's so fun. All right, so next we have our purple. And we are doing, again, we're starting extended crochet stitches here. So this is going to be an extended double crochet. And it's going to go right in the space between our extended single crochet and our treble cluster. Treble cluster. Goodness gracious. Sorry, that's kind of like a mouthful there. And it's going over our chain 10. So extended double crochet right into this space. Okay. So extended part and then regular part. There we go. And then another one. Okay. And now we're doing the same thing in the next space right here. There we go. Now we are working here in this chain space, and we are going to do 3 extended double crochets, a chain 1, and then 3 extended double crochets. So what we are doing is this corner right here is what we have started. Okay. Now we don't have any chains between these. It just goes straight into. So extended, we need 3 of these. chain 1, and then 3 more. Okay, and then we are repeating this part here, right over here in these 2 spaces. So 2 extended double crochets in the first space. Oops. And there's 2. Okay, next up we are chaining 4, and that is so that we can go behind this here, and we're going to continue this corner. So 2 extended double crochets, and then 2 in the next space, and then back to our corner, which is our 3, chain 1, 3, okay, and then repeating our 2 extended double crochets here and here, and then we will repeat all the way around with our chain 4 and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of that, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so because we're going to be working back in the black, I decided to go back to our white background. But as you can see here, we have our nice corners, and we're just going to finish off our square to make it look like this. Well, let me turn this side around. Got a little spider right here. Yeah. Okay. We are still going to continue with extended stitches. This round we are working extended single crochet. So we're going to do a standing extended single crochet in the space to the right of our corner cluster. So right here in this space. Okay. All right. And then next we are working an extended single crochet in each one of the tops of these all the way to our corner. Like so. And now in the corner, we are working 2 extended single crochets and then a chain 2. And then 2 on this side. So we are going to skip this hidden stitch right here, and we're going to work 16 extended single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're working 4 over our chain, so that'll get us to 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're skipping this blind space, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and here's 16. This gets us right before our corner. Okay, so then we're going to repeat our corner, which is the 2 extended single crochets, chain 2, 2 extended, and then repeat the side. So I will go ahead and do that and meet you all the way around at the end. Okay, so I have our other 3 corners, and then we're just going to continue over. And because we already have these 3 stitches here, we only need to do 13. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off, and then we will move on to our next round. Okay, so we are slip stitching here to our beginning standing single crochet. Now we are going to work our last round. So we are going to chain 1 and regular single crochet in the same space. What we're doing is pretty much putting a border of single crochet all the way around. So then next do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have our corner. So 2 single crochets, and then a chain 1, and then 2 single crochets. Okay, so then next we are going to be doing 9 to include this invisible stitch right here after our corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then the next we pull up our chain 1 space from the green, and that goes right here. And then we have 10 to get us to our corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and then reminder, our corner is 2 single crochets, a chain 1, and then 2 single crochets, and then just go ahead and repeat that. We have our 9 using our, to include our invisible stitch here. Our 10th will be pulling up, and then we have 10 after that, and then repeat the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that, and I will see you at the end of the round. Okay, so lastly, because we already started over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what we're going to do then is we just slip stitch and finish off, slip stitch to our first single crochet here, and I will do an invisible join, and that'll be it. So that is what our square is looking like thus far, and then all we have left to do is our cute little spider to put right on the side, wherever you want to put it. Now you can use whatever color yarn you want for the spider. I did a black spider. I'm actually kind of tempted to go back and get some, I do have some glow in the dark thread. It's white, and make some little eyes. I mean, like sewing thread. Because I can't find any really thin glow in the dark yarn. It's either worsted weight or a bulky chenille. So, but I think that would be kind of fun to have those cute little glow in the dark eyes. But yeah, you can make your spider whatever color you want. You can decorate that spider however you want. If you want to get really into detail with coloring, like Black Widow coloring, anything. So that's what we're going to do next. Let me go ahead and weave this in. So here's our 2, and I will be right back. It is spider time. Okay, so because I did the original spider in black, and I know that's difficult to see here, I've decided I'm just going to use gray to show you how to make this spider. It'll make it a lot easier for both of us to see on camera. So you can do whatever color you want. I'm just going to do this color to make it easier to see what's going on. And before we get started, I do want to say that this pattern was not created by me for the spider. This pattern is created by Ravella Design, and there is a YouTube link that I have posted in the description box. Definitely want to give her credit for her work and due diligence there. The difference in her pattern and this spider is that I kind of scaled this one down to fit on the square. It's a little bit smaller, probably maybe about half the size. I think her spider ends up with 16 single crochets at the widest, and this pattern is only 8. So I think it's about half. And I did scale down the leg size. So just want to give that little disclaimer out there. And again, you use whatever color yarn you want to make your spider. I just wanted to do this gray so that it was easier to see. Okay, so we're doing a magic ring, and then we are doing 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to tighten this up. Then I'm going to mark this with my stitch markers. And so my new favorites are these lovely little spirals. The pink ones always come out for some reason. And they're metal. They're on Amazon. I do have a link down below for them if you're interested. I just love how easy they are to work with, because you just slide them in your loop right there and twist it around. They're not plastic, so they're not going to break, which I absolutely love. Yeah, they're so compact, and they're small, and they're easy to travel with, and on all that fun stuff. So, okay, we are going to be increasing to 8 in this next round. Try and get that. There we go. Okay. 2, 1. 2. I wonder if I should zoom in a little bit more. 3, 4. 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, move my stitch marker over, and then we are going to do a round of 8 before we decrease. So this pattern is much smaller than the original, so it's fewer rounds, which is okay, but it's going to fit on our square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so as you see, it's already curling, so definitely want to make sure you have it in the right orientation. Move my stitch marker. See how easy this is to move it as it falls to the ground almost. I love how easy it is to move it over. I don't even have to let go because I don't need 2 hands to latch anything. It's great. Okay, so next round we are decreasing back down to 4, and I'm going to be using the invisible decrease method. Whoops. Which is just using the front loops of the 2 that you are decreasing together. So 1, 2, 3, and here is 4. Okay, and then last bit before we close it up is we are going to slip stitch all the way around 4 times. Before I do that though, let me get this tail stuffed in here. We'll give it a little bit of a depth. There we go, a little roundness. Okay. So slip stitching around, this is, there we go. Okay, 1. And we're just going to close up this hole with our needle. Okay, it looks like a balloon right now, but we're going to smoosh it down and it will be a little spider body. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave this long for right now. So next we're going to do the head, and we need to kind of figure out where we want the side of the body to be. I'm going to pick right here on the side. So just one of these little loop areas, just like that. Okay. And we are going to pull up a tall loop like so. Yarn over and do this 5 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4. 4 is good. 4 times, because it's a little body, it's a little spider, right? Okay. Yarn over and then pull through all of the loops, like so. And then yarn over and then chain again. Okay, now we're turning our spider over, and we are going to find a stitch down here on the bottom to go into. Okay. And then we're slip stitching. And that kind of tightens up our little head there to bring it down. And then we're fastening off and leaving a long tail. Okay. So as we kind of smoosh them, this is how it kind of looks. We kind of straighten out the little head there. And there we go. Okay. So now we're going to do legs. And we need to do 4 different lengths of chains. We're just doing chains. We're doing 4, and then they end up being sewn on in the middle so that it ends up with 8. Okay. So we need about this much tail, 4 inches or so, enough that you can kind of get a good grip on it. Okay, so make sure you have your slip knot. And our first chain is 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and make sure you do your slip knot there and leave another tail. Okay, so then what you want to do, here's what you have. You want to make sure you pull this super, super tight on both sides, okay? Because you want to stretch this knot so that it's solidified, like so, because then we're cutting this off at the end here. Now, if you want to kind of, if you're using acrylic yarn, if you want to make sure it's for sure not going to come to undone, you can kind of put some heat on there and melt it a little bit if you want. Okay, so there's our first one. That was 12. Okay, our next is going to be 14. And then we'll be doing 16 and then 18. Okay, so I will do these pretty quick. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And my slip knot. And then pulling tight. Well, that one broke for me. That's okay. It still works. Just gonna kind of pull the middle a little bit. There we go. Okay, now 16. That's the first time that's happened. I guess I pulled just a little too tight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, let's try this a little gentler. Okay. Put these here so you can see the lengths of them as I go. And 18 is our last. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay. Okay. Okay, there are 4 lengths. You could block these if you want them to be straighter, but they're going to kind of sit in their own way once they're on the spider. All right. So I'm going to pause for a moment and just weave in these extras. I'm going to weave in this weird extra one, but we need this long first one here that's going to stay. That's going to, we're going to use that to sew onto the granny square. This is the starter of the head, and I'm going to kind of weave that in and get it out of the way. And then this one we need to put our legs on. So we're not getting rid of that. So I'm going to get rid of this middle one that's a little shorter, and then I will be right back. So what I did was I just kind of wove it in through the body and then over the top to kind of like squish it down a little bit, and then back down and then around a couple times. Yep. So what we need to do for the legs is first, I'm going to take our smallest one and fold it in half like so. And then we're just going to, like so. And then we're just going to weave that down. Okay. And then we're going to do that with all of our legs in size order. Okay, so here they all are. Make sure they're on the right sides of everything. Okay, so then I'm just gonna kind of flip this over like so and stitch in here to the body, and then bring this back up in the front because you want the long legs in the back and the short legs in the front. I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it around again and go through there again. Okay, as you see, here's our legs. And I'm just going to kind of weave in and out to finish this off a little bit. And then I'm going to tie off this yarn. And all of this is on the bottom, remember, is going to be hidden if you're using this for the Granny Square. Okay. All right, so here's our legs. Okay, front two, second two, and then our backs. Goodness. Okay, let me lay it flat so it's easier to see. Goodness gracious. Okay, there they are. What do you think? I did kind of tighten that down weird, so his body just got all funky. All right, so next up, you will just take your square, place your spider wherever you want it to go. Yeah, I tightened that absolutely crooked, so the body looks weird. I can fix it by using this, but I'm just going to put this on here, and you're just going to wherever you want it to go. Okay, and you can starch these guys if you want, and then you're just going to stitch it on from back. I kind of like the contrast of the gray on there opposed to having a black one. What do you guys think? I don't know. It gives it something different, doesn't it? These legs are wild. But it's a spider, right? So, okay. I hope you enjoyed this. I think that's where we're at. Now, again, you can go ahead and put little eyes on there, stitch colors on your spider. I would do it after I don't know, maybe after I put it on the square, just because I think that it's easier to work with holding something like this opposed to just the little spider. I don't know. To each their own. Do what works for you. Okay, there he is. I sewed him on there. And as you can see, I just kind of stitched it easily and adjusted the legs how I wanted them to sit. And there it is. I do. I actually kind of like that gray spider better than the black one. The black one needs something because it blends in. It needs some eyes or something. But no, I like this. Okay, let me know what you think. Go ahead and post in the comments down below. Let me know how you feel about this. I think it's super fun. I love the colors. I love the little spider. And I do want to say thanks to Ravella Design for creating this cute little spider pattern that I was able to find and modify, but definitely want to give her credit for that. So again, this is super cute and fun. And let me finish this all up and I'll be right back with you. This was a fun one. I hope you enjoyed it. Today was great. I love making bright and colorful things. I really did think too that I wasn't planning on actually using this gray spider because I made it with a black one first. But you know what? It worked out and I actually kind of like it better. It stands out. But yeah, go ahead and tell me in the comments what you may do with this granny square and what color spider you may have if you decide to have a spider. I know some people are not into the spiders, and that's okay. So I want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and make sure that notification bell is dinged so that you will be in the know when my next videos come out. And if you did enjoy this video and the content that I do create here on YouTube, please consider showing me some love with hitting that like button. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.